processing calls. Now we're going to talk about features such as hold, park, transfer, and conference. So first of all, let's establish a call to this phone. And we'll answer that call. To put a call on hold, just push the hold button either here or over here, and that call will be on hold. You'll see here that it's flashing on my first call button. It'll show here that I've got a call on hold, and it'll even show me who I've got on hold. And I can pick that call back up again by either pressing resume or hitting the flashing button. Now, one thing about hold is it's private. So if I put a call on hold on this extension, no one else can pick up that call except for this extension. If I want this call to be able to be picked up by someone else in the store, then I would instead use park. So to use park while I'm on a call, just push any one of these three park buttons over here. So I've put the call on park 1. So now that call is flashing on park 1, and it's flashing on, I'm sorry, park 451, the first park. It's flashing on park 451 on all the phones throughout the whole store, and anyone can go to any phone and push that button, and they'll get that call. It'll take the call off of park and put it over here on the call button on whichever extension wants to pick that up. The reason that the park buttons are numbered as they are is it's the first 2 digits of the store. So the store extensions. So this phone is from Preston, and the store extensions start with 45. So it's 451, 452, and 453 are the 3 park buttons on these phones. So park is real handy. If a call comes in and you've answered that call and they've asked for someone else, you can put that call on park, and now you can either intercom that person, or you can perform an all page, or however, to let them know that they've got a call on that particular park number, and then they can pick that up from their phone. Also, you'll notice that the parks here have codes on them, star 451, star 452, star 453. Those are the actual access codes that you can dial from a phone to pick the call up if the phone does not have park buttons on it. For example, like one of those conference room speaker phones. Stotz has a few of those. Maybe a cordless phone. Those are phones that won't actually have park buttons on them, but you can still pick up calls off of park on those phones by just dialing the access code, star 451, star 452, or star 453. So that's it for the park feature. Transferring calls. There are basically 2 types of call transfer that you can perform. One is called a supervised transfer, which allows you to talk to the party that you're transferring the call to and tell them about the call they're getting. And the other one is called blind transfer. Now again, this phone is missing the expansion module. So on this phone, rather than dialing an extension number as part of a transfer, I could just push the button. So rather than pressing transfer 4502 to transfer to Chris, I could just reach over and push the Chris button on my console. But we don't have a console here for the purpose of this video, so we're going to have to imagine that. So now let's make a call into this phone and we'll transfer it to Chris's line. Okay, so I've got a call here, and we're now going to transfer that call over to Chris, and we're going to do a supervised transfer. So we're going to talk to Chris about that call. So we're going to hit transfer, his extension, and then send. And now Chris's phone is ringing. And when he answers his phone, we can say, hey, Chris, we've got a call that we're transferring through to you. It's so-and-so. They're calling about such and such, etc. And then when we're done announcing the call and he said he's good to take that call, we basically press transfer. And now that call has been sent through to Chris's line. So transfer his extension, pound, talk to him, and then press transfer again to send it through. And again, if I had the console, those first few steps of transfer, dialing his extension, would be taken care of by just hitting his button. So that's pretty straightforward. Now let me demonstrate a blind transfer. So again, we will establish a call into this phone. And if I want to transfer this call to Chris blind, what I'll do this time is I'll press transfer, his extension, and see how transfer here changed to B transfer. That stands for blind transfer. Whoops, I waited too long. Let's do that one more time. Okay, so Here we are on our call. So if I press transfer 4502B transfer, now the call's gone off of my phone and it's ringing Chris's phone. You can hear it in the background. Okay? So transfer, extension, transfer is how you do a blind transfer. And you can choose whichever method you want to process calls. You can also transfer a call directly to someone's voicemail. So if I have a call coming in here and I answer this call and I wanted to send this call directly to Chris's voicemail, I would press transfer, dial 8, and then Chris's extension, and then transfer again. And now the caller did not ring Chris's phone. They basically went straight to Chris's voicemail. So transfer, 8, dial the person's extension, transfer. Dialing an 8 before the number tells the system that you want that call to go to his voicemail and not to his phone. Okay? So that's how you perform voicemail transfer. Conference calling is very easy. So if I've got one call here, I can press conference and then make another call.
Thank you for
and
calling
then press conference again. And now I've got both of these together. And I can also manage and drop one of these.
Is now closed. Regular business hours.
So now I dropped one of them, and of course I can end the whole call. Conference calling is very simple. Also, do not disturb. If I push the do not disturb button, then any calls that come into my extension will go straight to my voicemail. Since most of the T46s are main answering phones, probably not a good idea to use the do not disturb feature on these phones. Voicemail, hit this button right here that says message if you call into the voicemail system.
Angie Golightly. Welcome to Subscriber Services.
The first time you call into voicemail, she's going to walk you through a tutorial to set up things such as your voicemail greeting, change your password, etc. So the voicemail system is very user-friendly, very easy to use. And that's about it on processing calls.